Alex Answer here. It is February 21st in the year 2018. For the first time, I'm using a accessory audio recorder, so both the video and the audio should have an improvement. Give me a thumbs up. I want to talk a little bit about social media addiction and the problem that we're facing. You see, a lot of us have put all our eggs in one basket, so to speak, with Twitter, with Facebook, with YouTube. And since the election, we've seen a massive reduction in our reach and our income. For myself, it's been a free fall of about 80%. Special thanks to those of you that are signed up on Patreon. So the future is very, very uncertain. I know there's a lot of alternative platforms that have been developed, one of them being VidMe, one of them being DTube. VidMe went away. DTube, I have problems uploading certain videos. It's not so much censorship. I'll get this error saying blockchain technology error. So I'm going to continue uploading to YouTube. What I want to say is this medium is valuable in reaching people. But with regards to social media on a larger construct beyond YouTube, Facebook, Twitter especially, as a result of the massive reduction in our reach, it's very difficult for someone like me, for example, to post something and for others to see it. So in more ways than one, I want to start here because there's a reason why they're reducing our reach, but the propaganda and the fake news hasn't gone away. It's still there. But there's a part of me that wants to get into this important point, which is for a lot of us, Facebook is the place where friendships go to die. Now, my commentary on this, and Facebook especially, goes all the way back to my first off-the-grid experience, and that was late 2012, where I talked about Facebook really is an asset to promote the real meetup amongst a community. Now, there's a positive and a dark side to that. But the point is that Facebook shouldn't replace our normal human relationships. Unfortunately for me, it's been the main way, that people do contact me. I do recommend, since my main page is activated half the time, that people do sign up at alexansory.tv/newsletter. But I found that Facebook was such a great, and is such a great distraction because we can get pulled into a story, click on that story, and then, of course, be absorbed in all the emotion from that story when maybe we were focused on something else entirely. So for me, there's a logistic need to stay off of certain social media platforms or allowing them to take up too many hours out of my day because my main focus is on creating content and videos, speaking my truth instead of just listening aimlessly in some cases to someone else's truth. Although I do listen to a lot of videos, I choose to listen to things that are more on the motivational end of things these days. And I stay away from the top news wire, but I am aware of what is there. But I see the need to pull back from being exposed to too much news and the need to focus even harder in this new year on going deeper into particular reports. There's a time to cover the news, and there's a time to speak our truth. With regards to relationships, Facebook being the place where relationships die, in my own life, I've seen unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings. And I think that's the natural progression of things. Misunderstandings over a digital medium. In the old days, things were face-to-face, even if there was a conflict, even if there was a stand-down, or things that led to someone being angry at someone else. There's something about the miscommunication breakdown that can happen to two people that aren't looking face-to-face, but they're staring at a screen. And in some cases, for long periods of time. One of the reasons why I feel in some cases my creativity is stifled, too much looking at the screen. And so I need to go out, I need to get sunlight, I need to go to town, I need to get exercise, I need to go hiking, I need to do things physically to even stay motivated to make videos. So I realize that social media addiction and getting pulled in emotionally and distracted in some of the conflicts that are going on, Antifa in one corner, the Proud Boys in another, and it just goes on and on and on. Facebook can facilitate a lot of division amongst the people if they're not careful. When Facebook started, by the way, there were a lot of, anti-New World Order groups, patriot groups, things like that I was a part of, opposing Agenda 21. That was before the current, I don't even want to say political, but just more so civil unrest, divide and conquer. And when it comes to the tampering on Facebook, this is a really big deal. And people on the left have been targeted, people on the right have been targeted. And they've had rallies in Texas and other places where people on both sides of the rally, the protesters and the counter-protesters, were organized not by the people that were on the ground, but from overseas. And I would say that this was done with the knowledge of Facebook itself, because they already had practice toying with people's emotions by toying with the feeds themselves. This is before the recent election. So this is not specific to the current president and the electoral process. In fact, I believe that our current presidents are selected. It's not determined by Facebook, but Facebook has been weaponized. And so, in certain states, in that indictment report, just so you know, Colorado, Virginia, and Florida were the 3 states that an unnamed Texas grassroots organization spokesperson consulted with the Russians and directed them to focus their attention on those states. Now, I know people are up in arms saying nothing happened at all, but there are a number of states that have received more of that programming to fear particular scenarios and people than in other states. So Colorado is one of them, and now that's starting to make a lot of sense to me. That's starting to make, and it's a little concerning because the disinformation on Facebook hasn't gone away. Now Zuckerberg has covered his tracks, and so the same stuff that you were seeing, maybe some of you on Facebook years ago, like this threat and that threat, and they're coming over the wall. There's a lot less of that now. Now, if Zucky was on the side of the left and showing compassion for immigrants, then why did he not oversee, or his people, what happened? What happened could not have happened without the help, in my opinion, of our own government. And that's what people just don't understand. So on a multifaceted level, a friendship on Facebook can be eroded. Okay, haven't mentioned how it replaces real communication for some people. I've touched upon that, but on a deeper level, when it comes to romantic relationships, and somebody may add someone on Facebook because maybe they want to screen them out first before they express some interest. The problem with that is the types of ways people express themselves on Facebook is not necessarily the way they're going to express themselves on a date. So by analyzing someone, and when someone's sharing when perhaps they don't have anyone to share with, it's like an open journal. And the person doing that sharing, and I know from experience, you could share things about your life that turn your audience and your friends off. Well, that guy's got problems. Holy hell, sucks to be you. And a worst case scenario, if you have people that are trying to cause you distress on Facebook, they may wait in the wings silently till your worst day of the year and then come out and say, yeah, buddy, now hurt yourself, or something else that I won't repeat to trigger the YouTube demonetization. And I've seen that behavior from people not recently, but a couple years ago during the dark of winter on Christmas Day, during the period where I was trying to get from one place to another, and the types of things that were being said from a few people at random that I thought was off. And so Facebook, and we could see this with school kids. I don't have any kids, but I'm abreast of what's in the news. Bullying and things of that nature isn't limited to children. We're seeing it in adults. But the bully culture in general comes from a darker place. And it's important that when we use this technology, that we be responsible. Every now and again, I'll become upset with a certain YouTuber. I'll see a little bit of hypocrisy, and instead of troll them and leave them a negative comment, I will unsubscribe from their channel and just let it go and not come back to their videos knowing that there's a particular emotional reaction. I subscribe only to channels that I like. I do not subscribe. I unsubscribe from channels in which I would unlike the videos or dislike the videos. If there are videos that are being produced or things being said that I do not like, I unsubscribe. I do not send the host negativity, and I go about my way doing whatever it is that I'm doing. If it's a productive day, I'm not on YouTube all day. I'm writing out content. I'm thinking about ideas. I'm getting exercise, things of that nature. Facebook said that they were going to reduce the reach of pages. That would be news pages, in order to promote people's personal posts. And instead, what's happened is not only have the pages that are posting news, like for example, my Facebook.tv Facebook page, alexansary.tv, like it if you're on Facebook. There'll be 1,000 likes or near that, near 800, and maybe 30 people will see a post. Or in some cases, 10 people. On the actual regular personal profile, people aren't seeing the post at all unless they actually click on my name and actually go to my profile. And instead of take it personally, like I'm personally being targeted, I could see how this is happening across the board. And Orwellian censorship is becoming a way of life. So we have to think outside the box. If there's someone that you support, for example, or there's someone whose content you enjoy, like myself, remember to check out the newsletters, for example. I myself have a newsletter over at alexansary.tv/newsletter. And I could see how putting a lot of energy into certain Facebook relationships and friendships was not fruitful over the years. And in order to have real friendships and things of that nature, I would say there's a reason I want to close here. Why more and more people are deactivating their Facebook accounts. And it's because of that natural human psychology to enjoy the technological interface more than the real thing. One of the reasons people are opting out isn't just privacy concerns. They're making a statement to the world. My interaction with the public is not going to be limited to a Facebook news feed, whether or not it's going to be showing my content or not. In reality, it's a massive data gathering operation, and people should be very careful about personal information that they put out there. It can be hacked easily, I would even say by foreign governments. And there's other ways in which people can be turned against each other. If there's one thing people should learn from the last few years, whether they're for the current sitting president or against the current sitting president, put that aside for a minute. When you see disinformation targeting Democrats and Republicans and independents, because they weren't just promoting Trump, they were throwing also energy in Jill Stein's direction, like that or not, Bernie Stein's direction, like that or not. And so bringing this to your awareness isn't political. It's highlighting that the political process is a circus, and we need to think for ourselves, not just believe whatever is on the Facebook news feed. So that's one of the reasons why I've been doing a lot more videos in the last few weeks. I've spent a lot less time on that particular energy vampire medium. I'll come back with more and discuss this further. I'm Alex Answer, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of power still lies within.